And now we're on the main event, Kamaru Usman taking on Leon Edwards. And I'm picking Leon Edwards, man. I've been on Leon Edwards for a very long time now. I've been commenting for weeks, saying that Leon Edwards, I do believe he's going to win, this and that. Like, this isn't just like me jumping on Leon Edwards' hype train, I guess. Like, I've been picking Leon Edwards for a long time. And I've got quite a lot of reasons for it, you know. Kamaru Usman, you know, his last fight he fought Colby Covington to a draw. Realistically, it was a draw, and he was having a competitive striking match with Colby Covington, and striking is not Colby Covington's bread and butter. It's his wrestling and his grappling. He fought Jorge Masvidal in a rematch that makes no sense apart from just padding his legacy. Let's be real. He fought Gilbert Burns and beat him. That was a pretty impressive performance, it really was, but Gilbert Burns had no fight IQ at all. I believe he dropped Usman down at one point, or he had Usman hurt and then just kind of looked at him and didn't do anything. We'll talk about that later with Nate Diaz. And then he beat Jorge Masvidal on 2 days' notice. Like, that's not a legacy building title defense, you know what I mean? And then he beat Colby Covington again, but in the first fight. But anyway, yeah, let's talk about Leon Edwards here. You know, this guy's had probably the easiest run to a title ever. Like, he beat Donald Cerrone, Gunnar Nelson, Rafael dos Anjos, Bilal Muhammad no contest, and Nate Diaz. And he's kind of been sitting on the sidelines waiting for a title shot to happen. And it's finally happened. I think he's actually going to make the most of it. So let's just talk about Leon Edwards here. No, let's talk about Usman. So, Usman, he's been saying in interviews for a very long time that his knees are so bad, he can't get up and run 5 miles because his knees are going to hurt. Like, I've had my fibula removed from my leg, and I could still run 5 miles, you know? Like, that's pretty crazy to me. And also, he's been wrestling a lot less. That's his path to victory. Usman's path to victory to beat Leon Edwards is to wrestle. But he's not really able to wrestle like he used to because his knees from his wrestling has been, and there's also probably another reason why his knees are hurting. But we'll get to that at the very end of the video, so I don't get too many dislikes. But he's got very bad knees. He's got very bad joints in general because of his wrestling. And he's not wrestling as much as well, which is why he's relying on his striking. And I think his striking is just a little bit overrated. Like, yes, he knocked out Jorge Masvidal, but if they were to fight in a kickboxing belt at the time, Jorge Masvidal would win. He's just a better technical striker than Usman. Leon Edwards is the better technical striker than Usman. And I think that's what's going to play a massive factor in this fight. But what Usman does bring to the table is that wrestling. He's not wrestling as much as he used to, though, and that's because of his joints, of his knees. He's been injured so many times in his career. He was been sitting out for months with a broken hand. I believe even when this fight was announced, he was recovering from his broken hand or his hand injury as well. So he's obviously hasn't been having a crazy training camp like Leon Edwards has. And if you're Leon Edwards, he's been training the whole time. He's been training for the biggest fight of his career. He's training for a title shot right now, and he has been for the last 8 months, last year. He's been training for the last year for a title shot, while Kamaru Usman defended his belt against Colby Covington and then sat out on the sidelines with a broken hand. This fight was announced when Usman was still recovering from his broken hand. Usman was saying he might not even return until the end of the year because his hand won't be fully healed. And now he's making a quick return in, what is this, August now? I'm not buying it, man. I just think that, hey Bear, my dog's here. I'm not buying it. I think that Usman's taking this fight somewhat still recovering from his broken hand. He's still got sore joints from wrestling. He's not going to wrestle as much in this matchup. I think that Leon Edwards is just a better technical striker. You know, Leon Edwards, yes, he has close fights. Yes, he has split decision wins over guys that he really should have dominated if he's going to beat a guy like Kamaru Usman. But I think at this point, Kamaru Usman's 35 years old. Leon Edwards is 31. He's still in his prime. He's still building. He's still getting better. He's just the more technical striker. He just is. And, I just think Leon Edwards wins. I just think I think everyone's going to be so surprised because everyone's calling Usman a lock. This and that. I'm not sold. I would not put Usman in parlays. If I was anyone. I'm seeing a lot of Usman parlays and I don't like it. I don't understand. I think a lot of people are thinking he's going to wrestle in this matchup. Leon Edwards, I don't think he's going to be too scared of the wrestling because he's improved so much since their first fight, and even then, he wasn't looking too bad in the wrestling exchanges anyway. I think Leon Edwards keeps the fight on the feet. I think he's just going to beat Usman on the feet. I really think he's going to out-volley him. I think he's going to land more damage as well. Usman's got crazy cardio, but it's because he hasn't pissed hot yet, but I'm very surprised he hasn't because he's got spots all over his face, he's got spots all over his shoulders, even all over his legs and his body. He's got sore joints, which is a side effect of taking performance-enhancing drugs, especially, I think was HGH, I think it is, or EPO, one of the two. You get sore joints from taking that steroid, and not saying anything, but Yeah, I think Edwards, man. I think it's Edwards' time. Everyone's calling Kamaru Usman the greatest of all time, this and that. I think his legacy is just a little bit too overrated for me. I'm just not blinded by that, you know. Like he's defended his belt 5 times, yeah, but 4 times against the same 2 people, and then 2 out of those 5 times was against Jorge Masvidal, who in the first fight took the fight on 2 days' notice, and then even in the second bout, just in general, that's a very easy, well not easy, but very winnable matchup for Usman anyway, because he's got the wrestling in the back pocket, and Jorge Masvidal was scared of the wrestling. That's why he was so tentative on the feet. That's why Colby as well was tentative in the second fight, sorry, and even the first fight somewhat. As well, and then Usman cracked him, and then since then Colby kind of come back. Like I think Leon Edwards is not going to be tentative. He's been waiting for this moment for about a year. He's funny. He's got an annoying voice, but he's so funny. He's like they hit him from the like they said like Jorge Masvidal fled the country to hide from them. It's actually hilarious. Leon Edwards has got a good story as well. It's quite easy to root for the guy, but yeah, like I know he got rocked by Nate Diaz as well. That's another big one that people bring up. Like, oh, if Nate Diaz is going to rock him, then Usman will too. But Leonid was he was toying with Nate Diaz. He wasn't fighting like he normally was. He wasn't taking it seriously anymore. He was pointing at him. He was laughing at him. He was doing what Nate Diaz was doing to him, and he's just kind of having fun in there. But I think in a UFC title fight, he's gonna be switched on. Like he's gonna be switched on for 5 rounds. I don't think he's gonna get caught by Usman in this fight here. It's kind of crazy that actually happened in the fight. But yeah, it's just Edwards. Sorry, he's just toying with him. I think he's just bored of beating him up, because he beat him up. He used grappling, he used striking, he beat Nate Diaz up bad. I think Edwards wins, man. I'm actually kind of confident in it too. I'm quietly confident in Edwards. This video could age badly. Usman's got the power, like his brother did, even though his brother had no power whatsoever in the Ultimate Fighter house. Makes his UFC debut. Walks in with a breast, walks in with gyno and spots all over his body and his shoulders, and all of a sudden has KO power. Oh, I digress. We move on. Leon Edwards by decision. I think at this point Usman's getting too old. He's been injured so much in his career. He's been sitting out with an injury for about like 4 or 5 months, while Edwards has been training hard for the biggest fight of his career. I think Leon Edwards has got it, man. I genuinely believe that there's a great chance Edwards wins, and I love it. I love that he's such a big underdog. I love that everyone's picking Usman. I love that everyone's picking against me, and I just love it, man. I love when this happens, even if I get proven wrong. It is what it is, you know. Like I just love having this feeling that I'm picking someone that no one else is, and oh man, I've just got so much to say about this fight, and I'm so excited for it. Even if Edwards loses, it's just a great fight. It's a great fight. It is what it is. I think there's a good chance Edwards wins. This press conference as well is gonna be funny because Edwards is just hilarious. He doesn't mean to be funny. He's just kind of an easy guy to laugh at. Like, he's like, they hit him from the like, he fled the country. Oh, voice crack. I can't. My voice isn't deep, but I cannot do high pitch at all. This is just how my voice is, man. All right. Thanks for watching the video. This is an 8-minute breakdown on one fight. I just got so much to say about it though. I'll catch you in the next one. I cannot wait to see what happens in this fight, man. It's so good. If you made it this far, please subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video and comment as well. I never ask anyone at the start of the video to do all that, but if you made it this far, you might as well. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next one. It probably will be a Dana White's Contender Series prediction video for next week, and I'll probably drop it in 24 hours time from now. I haven't actually researched the card yet though. Believe it or not. So yeah, I'll maybe it will be in 48 hours, but yeah, it'll come out. I'll see you next time.